Quik-Therm's Air Dry Connect insulation system combines the integrated strapping and tongue and groove features of Connect with the superior drainage plane technology of Solar Dry that allows the wall cavity to breathe, dry, and drain. As with any building system, proper installation of all components is required to achieve the system testing results and take full advantage of the system's built-in features. There are several key areas to pay particular close attention to when installing Air Dry Connect. Use proper sealing techniques and approved products to help prevent air and moisture ingress, as well as convection looping, which will degrade thermal performance. In addition, close attention to finishing details around doors, windows, and corners will ensure proper moisture management in these areas, as well as a clean final finish. Install flashing and bug screen at the base of the wall as per manufacturer recommendations and local building codes. Install panels with label outwards to ensure interior drying plane channels and exterior strapping are properly oriented. Air Dry Connect is to be installed with the grooves and channels in a vertical orientation only. Air Dry Connect panels are equipped with tongue and groove connections for ease of alignment, ensuring a proper connection is achieved at the joints. To create a code-compliant rain screen, attach a minimum 3/8" furring over the internal battens and install cladding. Quik-Therm Air Dry Connect is available to accommodate both 16" and 24" stud spacing and a variety of thicknesses. Ensure to choose the system that meets your requirements. The following instructions apply to buildings up to 3 stories. For installation of Air Dry Connect in buildings from 4 to 6 stories, reference links to additional requirements that should be adhered to are provided at the end of this video. A vapor-permeable air barrier installed over the sheathing forms the inboard side of the drying plane, helping to protect the sheathing from moisture. This layer is to be installed as per manufacturer recommendations and local building codes. Once the air barrier is properly installed, the Air Dry Connect installation process can begin. For each wall, the first and last Air Dry Connect panels will be offset from the corners, which will be filled in later in the installation process. Begin by installing the first Air Dry Connect sheet as close to the corner as possible, aligning built-in battens over framing members. Ensure the battens are facing outwards toward the cladding side. Apply a liberal bead of foam or EPS-compatible sealant at the top of the wall where the panel will be installed. In some instances, it may be preferable to add the foam to the back of the panel at the top as opposed to on the wall itself. In either instance, use a liberal amount of sealant. Ensure panel covers wall top plate and install fasteners through battens into framing as per FSC guidelines. Refer to the link at the end of this video. Install the remaining panels along the wall, first applying a little bead of spray foam or EPS-compatible sealant to the top of each panel on the back side or alternatively at the top of the wall to ensure proper sealing of the drying plane. In addition, apply foam in each panel groove to ensure proper sealing between panels. Secure each panel with approved fasteners, ensuring panels cover the top plate and a proper connection is achieved at the panel joints. At the opposite corner of the wall, cut the Air Dry Connect panel at the last wall stud out from the corner, ensuring a batten covers the stud. The corner will be filled in later. Install Air Dry Connect on the remaining walls as before, starting at the first stud in from the corner and finishing at the last stud out from the opposite corner. Ensure panels cover with the wall top plate and proper sealing is achieved at the top of the wall and between the panels as previously described. For multi-story buildings, a hidden flashing will be installed at each floor to allow moisture to properly drain. Unlike the flashing at the base of the wall, which extends flush with the cladding, the flashing installed at each floor will be hidden by the cladding. Check with local building codes for flashing requirements in these and other areas. The more common approach for finishing around corners, windows, and doors uses a combination of Quik-Therm MPI that is 3/4 inch thinner than the Connect Air Dry and standard 3/4 inch wood or steel strapping. Determine the wall framing locations and install strapping over the MPI insulation, securing it to the framing. Ensure corner strapping is sufficient width to provide secure fastening for the cladding material. Be sure to seal all panel joints. The combination of thinner MPI and the strapping will ensure the wall runs flush at the corner. There are several approaches for insulating around window and door openings using the Air Dry Connect system. The common approach involves constructing a build-out around the opening and installing the insulation flush with the build-out. This can be achieved in 2 different ways. One approach involves installing the Air Dry Connect insulation flush with the build-out and cutting 3/4 inch grooves into the panels at the required stud locations using a special hot knife designed for this purpose. Standard 3/4 inch furring strips are installed into the grooves and the panels secured to the framing. Air-dry panels are durable and flexible and can compress slightly, allowing for proper installation of cladding and moldings. Note that an 1/8 inch projection discrepancy between furring strips is typically acceptable for most claddings. Check with your cladding manufacturer. Be sure to apply spray foam between the insulation and the build-out as well as at all panel joints, and seal the top of the drying plane cavities to minimize convection looping. The more common approach involves installing the air-dry connect insulation flush with the build-out at the top and bottom, and cutting the panels back from each side of the opening to allow MPI insulation 3/4 inch thinner than the air-dry panels to be installed. The thinner insulation allows standard 3/4 inch strapping to be applied next to the build-out, bringing the wall flush with the adjacent air-dry panel. Ensure to apply spray foam between the insulation and the build-out, taper foam all insulation joints, and seal the top of the drying plane cavities. Alternatively, the air-dry connect and MPI can be brought over the framing members to minimize thermal bridging in these areas. Consult with your building professional to determine which method is most appropriate for your situation. A combination of the methods described may be required on a project depending on a variety of installation-specific factors. In all instances, choose an appropriate method or a variation thereof that meets your requirements. Refer to local codes and good building practices. When installing Connect Air Dry around windows, doors, and other openings, apply flashing, caulking, and peel and stick products, ensuring there is no air or moisture penetration. Consult with your building professional and refer to peel and stick application recommendations. For more detailed engineered instructions on attaching foam sheathing to wall framing, please refer to the guide found on the Foam Sheathing Coalition website. For installation of Air Dry Connect on 4 to 6 story buildings, please refer to additional instructions found at Quik-Therm.com.